NITT viewers, I am DS Psychologist and welcome to another episode on NITT. So in this episode, we are going to talk about the ENFPs NeTe Loop. So the INFJ has the NITT Loop and is spelled NITI. So for the ENFP, it is the NETE Loop. So to not confuse the viewers, I will pronounce it as NeTe Loop.
Press your then you know.
So personally, I do know of a lot of ENFPs. So I have ENFPs that were my ex-business partners, existing business partners. I have ENFP students and ex-students. I also have ENFP associates. So because ENFPs are NE dominant, they have a lot of imagination. They want to do a lot of things at the same time. So this makes them sprinters instead of marathon runners. So on my Facebook, it is very common for me to find a lot of ENFPs announcing to the world what they are going to do. So one moment, the ENFP can be very excited about dormancy or being a YouTuber. So they will go on a sprinting mode. One day produce and release 3 episodes. And then they go about announcing to the rest of the world, hey, look at me now. I am a dormancer. Hey, I am a YouTuber. Come and support me. I am so motivated now. And then their battery runs flat. 2 months later, 3 months later, so predictable.
It's no surprise.
So if you are considering an ENFP as a business partner, know that at the beginning they will be very enthusiastic. It is genuine enthusiasm. They will say, okay, we can do this. Then, when it doesn't take off, 2 or 3 months later, you see them drift away.
You're gone.
So in the eyes of the ENTJ, this aspect of the ENFP makes them already unhealthy to start off with. They just cannot be grounded, they are just all over the place. But of course, from the ENFP's point of view, they can experience the world in any way they like. And they can really exercise lots of creativity. So this is also why I say that the ENFP and the ENTJ may not be very compatible. But of course, it also depends on circumstances. Presume you are a Korean couple and the ENTJ is damn rich. So all you need to do is to be an ENFP high-class tai-tai. Every day you go shopping. Of course this is going to work. Because shopping is what you like, right?
We're gonna all get together and we're gonna go
shopping! Okay, jokes aside, I must admit that at the beginning of my YouTube journey where I just started to release episodes, I did not think very highly of the ENFPs. However, after diving into MBTI much more, I realized that the aspect that I don't like about the ENFP is just only one of the few aspects. The ENFP is actually a very kind and nice person. They can also be very generous. So currently, my business partner is an ENFP. When he knew that I was going to do YouTube, he actually loaned me his camera, which I am using now, and he loaned me his laptop where I can do my Premiere Pro editing. My ex-business partner, who is also an ENFP, actually gave me a lot of referrals. So even though they did not stick with me to the end to push what we started off to push in terms of business, what actually happened was they are still there for me. So this part I really appreciate. So ENFPs, this is sending some love to you. So cheesy. Okay, this is the cognitive stack of the ENFP. So under normal circumstances, they would use NE and FI. However, we all know that when any MBTI type goes into a loop, they will dismiss their second function and use the third. So this is why we say that the ENFP that's unhealthy and in a loop goes on a NeTe Loop. But under what circumstances will they dismiss FI? So this is very curious because a lot of circumstances can cause this to happen. So presume the ENFP has undergone a very difficult situation, let's say a divorce. And to rationalize, they have to engage TE more so that this makes them feel better. Why did he have to go away? Or why did he propose a divorce? Or why did she have to break my heart? You know, this kind of things. This kind of thing. So the ENFP may engage in TE more because this helps to ease the pain a little bit more. And As they go on, they start to use TE and TE more to rationalize, then they might get into a NeTe loop. So for the ENFP in the NeTe loop, it is not just dismissing FI, it is deciding to use TE more. So you might not go through a very stressful situation such as a divorce. You can also, as an ENFP, get into a NeTe loop unknowingly. For example, when you suddenly get very interested in the MBTI, for example, you might actually fall into this NeTe loop trap. So ENFPs, you lead by NE, right? So there might be a lot of times when you just suddenly like a thing, and you might like a thing so much. So presume now you got very involved and very addicted to MBTI. Every person that you meet, you want to type. So this is where you will start to use TE more, because now you are trying to use logic to deduce a person's MBTI type. Under normal circumstances, when a person is very nice to you, you will just say, oh, this person is very nice. Full stop. Now that you know the cognitive stacks and you want to do profiling more, you might engage TE much more, because TE is a thinking process. So you might start to say, hey, he's so nice, but he's a TE user, right? Why would a TE user be so nice? Does he have an ulterior motive? He must have an ulterior motive. What's the ulterior motive? Last time, you used to just think that, okay, this person is nice, full stop, right? Now, given that you are engaging TE more, you start to overthink situations. So it is very likely that an ENFP in a NeTe loop starts to overanalyze and overthink people, and they might even start to have deep, dark thoughts. Deep, dark thoughts. An ENFP in a NeTe loop is definitely not their usual self. They are unhealthy. So it is highly possible that an ENFP in a NeTe loop second guesses other people's intentions. They are also very likely to analyze information over and over again using TE. When they analyze information over and over again, TE gives them a lot of different possible outcomes, and they feed these possible outcomes into their NE, which is very wild in imagination, right? So it starts to blow into more possible outcomes for TE to analyze. And this goes on and on and on.
The beat goes on and on and on and on and
And what actually happens? The ENFP is going to procrastinate even more and gets very confused, unable to take action. An ENFP in a NeTe loop tends to see things very negatively, and they might even lose hope. Because FI is absent, TE starts to kick in. The ENFP can be very harsh on themselves and harsh on others. Remember, the ENTJ is very harsh on others and harsh on themselves, so does the ESTJ. So same thing, the TE function is actually very harsh.
hush, 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 hush.
So expect the ENFP in a NeTe loop to become harsh as well. So under normal circumstances, a healthy ENFP uses NE and FI. NE helps to generate a lot of different ideas, and from all these different ideas, FI acts as a filter to choose for the ENFP. So how does FI act as a filter? FI can be individual moral values, or they could just be whims and fancies. Okay, let's just face it, some FI users are really very self-indulgent, okay? They think they are king or queens or princesses. But nonetheless, an ENFP that uses NE and FI is a healthy ENFP. So if you are caught in a NeTe loop, how do you get out of the NeTe loop and become normal again? So we have already done a few MBTI loop episodes. So some MBTI types, when they are in a loop, are really finding it very hard to get out of the loop. So ISTJs, for example, have SI as their dominant function. So when they get into a loop, they get into a CP loop where they perform rituals, which is very comfortable for them. So given that the ISTJ love rituals, so therefore it is very hard for the ISTJ to get out of the loop. For the ENFP, if you want to get out of the loop, for the ENFP, if you want to get out of your loop, it may be easier because it's a thought process. Whenever the thought comes in where you have to overanalyze things, stop yourself! Stop!
Stop, stop, stop.
So using the MBTI example that I've actually mentioned, if you start to want to analyze a particular person, stop stop yourself. Go back to normalcy. Go back to your normal state. Just say, okay, let you be. Okay? You must consciously do that whenever you think that you are overthinking. Luckily, the third function that you are engaging is TE, which is a thinking process. So you can stop this thinking process. So the advice for the ENFP in a NeTe Loop is that whenever you have thoughts, cut off all these thoughts and follow your heart. Connect with the people around you and connect with yourself. And sooner or later, your FI will come back. Okay, I hope that you have found this video interesting and useful. And if you have not subscribed, do consider subscribing so that we can bring you more MBTI and psychology. Okay, I am going to sign off now and I'll see you in my next episode. Goodbye!